Prabhu, you were saying on Samadhika Sukakshami, where we are equipoised in both happiness and distress.
Yes.
But is it, what are we meaning by it? Should we be neutral when both these emotions hit? Or should we not feel anything at all? Or what's the actual concept of equipoised between these two levels?
Yeah, so sometimes people get into a wrong conception that spirituality or adhyatma, when you start becoming advanced, a sign of advancement then is you just become indifferent or negligent or someone who just doesn't care. Right? That's not what is referred here. What is referred here is that when you transcend happiness and distress, it is not that you are in a state of existence where there is no happiness and no distress. That is not what we are referring to. We are referring to a state of existence where there is only happiness. Yeah, so there is no duality associated with the happiness. Right now, the problem is you take any form of happiness in material sense, there is some sort of distress or sadness which is a part and parcel of that happiness. So one may think that, oh, I need to transcend, which means I become indifferent, I become feelingless, or I'll just be a person who is just not experiencing anything in life. But that's not what spirituality all about. It's about how you can enter a state of existence where there is only happiness and there is no associated distress whatsoever. So we need to really understand this, because many times I encounter people who are sort of doing some sort of whatever sort of spirituality which they have found out in their lives, and they think that when they see me like jumping up and down in kirtans or being really happy serving people, or because we do quite a lot of kirtan programs and quite a lot of outreach, and when they see that I'm like fully just immersed there, they come out like, but this is the opposite of what you're teaching. They think that I should not be experiencing any sort of happiness whatsoever. They think it's just I need to be like, I don't know, just I actually don't know how to explain it, but in their idea I should not be experiencing happiness or distress. That's not what spirituality is at all. It's basically, it means I transcend. Doesn't mean that I don't have happiness anymore, I don't feel any feelings anymore. That's really not what it is. It's about how do I get to a state of consciousness where I live my current life in a way that there is only happiness. And that is the meaning of liberation, right? The classic terms, mukti means, which is the Sanskrit terms for liberation. Mukti is something in which people get away from the suffering. There are different problems of life, like there's birth, old age, disease, death, janma, mrityu, jara, vyadhi. And there is adi bhautika, adi daivika, adhyatmika, klesha, called as tapatraya. So miseries and different problems of life. So mukti means one transcends this, but doesn't mean that they become emotionless. Mukti is a state of existence wherein you are not conditioned by anything which is going on, and you're always just happy. Irrespective of what's going on outside, you are happy, right? So Krishna says it in very clear terms, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma, na shochati na kankshati. So the person is Prasannatma, he is blissful all the time. And na shochati na kankshati, has no sort of, shochati is sort of distress, no sort of any sort of anxieties, any sort of bad feelings, and na kankshati, having no desires for how do I enjoy better, right? But it's sort of counterintuitive. One is not endeavoring to become happy, but is internally happy. It's not that is internally emotionless, is internally happy. To really understand this. So bhakti in specific and spirituality in general as per Vedic idea, is not an idea of you get into some sort of no emotions, right? Because the foundational idea of Vedic life is that you are eternal being. Now, if you are eternal being and at some point of time suddenly all the emotions are cut, how do you feel? An ant has an emotion, and it feels emotions. Every single thing has emotions. We have emotions also. The problem with the emotions which we have is that sometimes they are good, sometimes they are not so good. And if someone thinks that, oh, I just need to transcend, so I get over from all sort of emotions, no, that's not what it is. The perfection is when you are truly experiencing happiness, which is not contaminated by any sort of byproducts which are giving you misery, right? So you can ask for yourself, what do you prefer, right? Do you prefer just to be alone without having anything to do with whatsoever, or experiencing happiness is a better state of existence? It's just better in terms of state of existence. Now one may tell that, well, you just don't know. How can you tell? Maybe just having no one is also perhaps is better. Maybe peace is better than happiness. At least for me personally, I would think happiness is better than peace, right? So that goes back to the characteristic of Atma. It is Sat, Chit and Ananda. It is eternal, it is full of consciousness, it is blissful. It is not Sat, Chit and Shanti. Right? It is not the idea of Atma. It is Sat, Chit and Ananda. And the Vedanta Sutra sort of explore it by telling Anandamayo Bhyasat, that it's the foundational characteristic of every living entity to seek happiness. Right? So we seek. It's just that right now we are seeking in a place which is not really how it should be. We are trying to be the master and trying to enjoy. And we want to be the boss. We want to be the one who is actually the controller, the enjoyer, the proprietor. And then with that effort, we face failures, because we are not designed to be the enjoyer or the proprietor or the controller. We are designed to be someone who is a part of the whole, but we are not the whole. And the moment I understand, yes, I'm just a part of the whole, for my existence, I need an ashraya. And in Sanskrit, the term is ashraya, means shelter. So when we take the proper shelter, right now we have taken shelter of the material prakriti. That's how we function. Even though we accept it or not, we have taken full shelter of material prakriti. For us to breathe, exist, do whatever, we need an ashraya, and material prakriti is giving us that ashraya. We need to change that source of shelter from matter to spirit, or from material prakriti to adhyatmika prakriti. Krishna says in Gita, Mahatmanastu mam partha daivim prakriti mashritaha, that those people who are Mahatma, great souls, they take shelter of my divine prakriti, daivim prakriti ashritaha. So right now we have taken ashraya of material prakriti. We need to switch that and start taking shelter of adhyatmika or divine prakriti of Krishna. And when we do that, there is only happiness. Yeah, it's just happiness. It's kevala ananda kanda. It's just ever expanding ocean of bliss. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Ananda ambudhi vardhanam. It is not just a peaceful existence. Yeah. We seek peace because we are frustrated in our endeavor to enjoy. Yeah, we are trying so much to enjoy, and everybody gets frustrated in that endeavor to enjoy. And then peace becomes a good alternative because there is frustration. But when you understand the question to begin with was wrong, I'm solving In mathematics, you always solve step by step by step. Somebody makes a mistake in the first step. It doesn't matter how much, what they're doing afterwards. It's a wrong answer anyways, right? So our first step was wrong. Yes, of course, I'm seeking, inherently I'm seeking happiness. Now I want to seek happiness with me being the center. That's the wrong thing. First step wrong, gone wrong. No matter what I do afterwards, I can't set this right. And then no matter what I do, it will be all resulting in frustration. And then one may think that, oh wow, it's so frustrating. Peace is better. But that's like a right solution for a wrong problem, right? If you go to the first step back, yes, I have the seeking propensity. I want to seek happiness. Let me try to find where is the real happiness. And you take shelter of Krishna's divine Prakriti. There is real happiness there then. But for that, I need to get rid of all that which I think I'm the boss, I'm the enjoyer, I'm the controller, right? All these feelings need to go away. And the way that can happen is, at least in our process, we have a sadhana in which we recite Hare Krishna mantra. We serve people, we serve Krishna. We try to study the ancient scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam to get to know the experience, not just to put some faith in it, but just to see, oh, okay, this is how people lived and this is how they eventually attained perfection in spiritual life. So we get inspiration from it, and then as the most important thing, we do seva, right? We do service as a contribution from our side to the people in general, and eventually to Krishna. And through these methods, one can actually come to the higher state of existence. And then you put somebody in the kirtans of, for example, Vishwambar Prabhu or Sachinandana Maharaj or Tarana Chaitanya. You don't need to really have a PhD to understand that there is happiness there. When people sing and dance, it's so natural, they're happy. You don't really need any sort of extra intelligence to figure out, wow, this is happiness. People are blissed out, and you can see it. Right? So that's what we are offering. And that is the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He wants to give everybody this source of real happiness. Now we are in this mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and in his footsteps, we also try to create opportunities. The opportunity which we want to create is, please come, become happy. And Srila Prabhupada opened this Hare Krishna movement. There was a tagline, chant Hare Krishna and be happy. Right? That's how our mission started. So that's what I want to say about becoming spiritually happy and becoming advanced, and whether we become emotionless or just we don't experience anything. Or is that okay? Thank you. Hare Krishna.